Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Martin, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at The Exorcist. So this is a film I've been holding off on for the longest time for no real reason. It was most certainly one of the movies why I decided to maybe start doing this, and I'm excited. Just so we're all on the same page, I'm going to be looking at the theatrical cut of the film. I ummed and ahed about this for a little bit, but ultimately I think I decided that I just wanted to view this film as it was viewed originally, like what put it into like cinematic history, what cemented it in its spot as the scariest movie ever, and I wanna see it as the audiences back when it first came out originally saw it. Don't know what the differences are between the two versions. Probably down the line I'll probably watch the director's cut in my own time, and who knows, maybe I'll revisit the movie and talk about the movie in a bit more detail somewhere down the line. But as for this reaction and gut review after watching it, we're just watching the theatrical cut. I don't really know too much about the movie other than like the obvious stuff that is in pop culture throughout the world. I know, you know, young girl gets exorcised. I suppose that's kind of part of the title, but is possessed by a demon. And that's pretty much it. And obviously there's a few sort of famous scenes or like things that are associated with this film that are kind of in my mind, but I don't really know any context to any of it, so I couldn't tell you where in the film it happens or why it happens or any of that stuff. So I'm excited to finally watch this film, see if it still holds up, or what's good about it, or what, all that stuff, all the things. I'm very excited to watch it at long last. It's been a long time coming, this one, for me. As a horror fan, I can't believe I've got away for this long not seeing it. So, yeah, this is the time. This is the moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're jumping in to The Exorcist. The Exorcist. There might be an exorcist in this movie. There's certainly someone singing. Northern Iraq. I certainly did not expect to be seeing Northern Iraq in this film. That was furthest from my mind, based on the small images I have seen from the film. He just so happened to pick up the one strange thing. This is strange. This one, I mean, I suppose he noticed it. He like saw it and was like, well, that doesn't fit in with this stuff. That makes more sense. Ignore me. I answered my own question. This has a very like rounded feel, or like, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but it's got a really like, I can't quite explain it, but it's got like everything just feels like extremely natural. Yeah.
أتمنى أن ما تسافر يا صديقي العزيز. عندي شيء لازم أسويه.
I feel like he's unearthed something he's not too happy about finding. That's where my mind goes to. I mean, it's not the nicest looking statue. Nothing overtly supernatural other than the clock stopping so far. Georgetown. Right. Well, let's see how all of that links into what's going to be happening here then, shall we? Hello? Lady, I think you've got a rat problem. Okay, well there we have it. There's a rat problem in this house.
It's okay, I got it. Oh, Carl, we've got rats in the attic. You better get some traps.
I fucking... Oh, I'd be great in a horror film. I'd write off the creepy noises as rats. Oh, there it is. I know this bit. I know this music.
When can I have one? We'll see, Reagan. We'll see. Hey, listen, I'm starting invitations. I want to get a personal notice. Oh, Reagan, don't.
Well, she just sneaked that cookie. She's out of there. She's leaving. She was getting that cookie. That was all a ploy.
Father, could you help an old altar boy? I'm a Catholic.
Is he like struggling with his faith or something? That was a really weird shot of that old guy's face. It was kind of just a little bit unsettling. I don't know what they did exactly, but they did something.
Now, Mommy, you have to stay off it. You can't go up and down the stairs. Now, you have to give it rest.
Okay.
She ain't listening to you. She's like, I'm going up and down those stairs.
Hey, where'd this come from?
Don't be playing with that. Not in this movie. Don't do it.
I do it all the time.
You just do it all the time, casually. Whoa, hello. See, she'd be playing with Ouija board on her own. That's asking for bad news. in a film called The Exorcist, she should know better. I am kind of enjoying how, like I said earlier, like how just naturalistic it all is. Like, it is really just playing it as normal people going about their lives, normal problems. Grounded as fuck.
I need out. I'm unfit.
Okay, he doesn't think he's good enough for the job anymore.
I think I've lost my faith.
There it is! I had a feeling that's where this was going with him.
Hello?
My bed was shaking. I can't get to sleep.
That's a bloody big rat. It shakes beds now, apparently. I mean, don't go up there. What are you thinking? If you're gonna go up there, at least take, like, a fucking... or that pole. I mean, I was gonna suggest a spear, but...
Smells nice.
Oh, Carl.
Why
Jesus
are you sneaking up on
Christ,
people, old man? What the fuck? Hello? Who did that? What the fuck was that about? Has some time passed since... Or am I just stupid? I feel like time has been passing, but I'm not entirely sure how much time has passed. I feel like we're due something weird to happen. You know what I mean?
You're gonna die up there.
There it is! Right on cue, the weirdness begins. There's a big rat under her bed. Get her off the bed. Get her off the bed. What are you doing? I really appreciate how all these,
Stealing is a sin.
like, priests and stuff are really being depicted as real people with, like, actual problems. Like, in any other movie, they'd be, like, holier than thou, quite literally. Like, they'd be, like, untouchable beacons of light. Alright. What the fuck was that? I saw a face! I saw a face.
The shaking of the bed. That's doubtless due to muscular spasms.
Oh,
That's
no,
not...
that was not
That was the bed moving.
bed, though.
Jesus, look at that machinery! Thank God we live in the time we do where like, like medical machinery doesn't look like it's literally trying to kill you.
What is it? What's happening?
That's,
There's something, Doctor. Please help her.
that don't look good. Whatever's going on. Ugh! Ugh!
All right, let's see what the...
Oh. Well, Demon Boy has certainly arrived, but I would have thought, like, sedating her would make it... Well, obviously they don't know what's going on, but sedating her would make it easier for it to take over, I would have thought. Obviously I, the audience member, know that there is a supernatural force at work here, but I'm interested that we're we're exploring it through the eyes of sort of science and stuff.
What the hell do you mean going off and leaving Reagan by herself? Are you crazy? Her window's wide open. The whole room is freezing.
Didn't he tell you?
Didn't who tell me?
Burke, isn't...
What's Burke got to do with it?
Look, there wasn't anybody here, so when I went to get the Thorazine, I had him stay with her and...
Oh.
Haven't heard. Burke's dead.
Well, yeah, I kind of thought that might be the case.
He must have been drunk. He fell down from the top of the steps right outside. Heck.
Or someone pushed him downstairs.
Burke Jennings, good father, was found at the bottom of those steps leading to M Street with his head turned completely around, facing backwards.
Yikes.
Do you have any religious beliefs?
No.
What about your daughter?
No.
Well, the doctor's going to suggest the exorcism.
Heard of exorcism?
Oh my god, they are. All these highly paid geniuses in medical world. Go get a priest and suck a ghost out of your daughter. But really what we mean is it's just going to shock her into feeling better. I mean, imagine being told that shit.
He was killed by a very powerful man, point one. And the fracturing of his skull, point two, plus the various other things we mentioned, would make it very probable, not certain, that the deceased was killed and then pushed from your daughter's window.
Yeah, she don't like the sounds of that.
It could be.
She's
one
seen how
way.
strong Reagan's been, so...
If someone came...
Hello? Ah! What the what the fuck? Excuse me! I did not expect to be seeing that today.
You know what she did? Your canting daughter?
Well, I feel she might go with the exorcism now. That was not all the things I was expecting to see today.
Bruce McNeil. I've never met one priest who has performed an exorcism. Not one.
Yeah, well,
I feel we got some circumstances for you that...
it just so happens that somebody very close to me is probably possessed.
Yeah.
I'm Damien Karras.
And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps.
I mean, there you go.
If you're the
And you're helping old altar boy, father.
That's
Would you like
that's
me to
creepy.
say
If that's true, then you must know my mother's maiden name. What is it?
That looks lovely. Basically, I don't have an answer for you, but I'm going to throw up on you because I'm a really mature demon.
What's that?
Holy water.
It burns! Oh, it burns!
Is it burning though? I can't see it physically burning.
I told Reagan that was holy water. I sprinkled it on her and she reacted very violently.
It wasn't, was it? It was fake.
It's tap water.
There we go.
What's...
Help me? Is that coming through her skin? Well, that's... Oh, it's getting deeper. That's... Ugh. Ugh. Like they're physically... Like, Reagan's like physically inside her own body, scraping... Ugh. That's just weird.
You would want to do the exorcism yourself.
Yes.
Might be best to have a man of experience, maybe someone who spent time in foreign missions.
In the meantime, I'll call you as soon as I know.
This is quite the process. Quite the process to get an exorcism, which is probably a good thing.
He's had experience. I didn't know that. 10, 12 years ago, I think, in Africa. The exorcism supposedly lasted months. I heard it damn near killed him.
I'm sure he'd be jumping at the opportunity to do it again then. There it is. There it is. There's the poster. There's the money shot.
Father Karras. It's an honor to meet you, Father.
You know each other.
I think it might be helpful if I gave you some background on the different personalities Reagan has manifested. So far, I'd say there seem to be 3. She's convinced that
There's only one.
Interesting. That's interesting. Like, he's convinced that this demon is just pretending to be other individuals to try and get in their heads. Whereas Karis is a bit more like, I think there's more going on.
In heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
He's just bossing it. He's taking it like a tank.
Amen.
Oh Lord, hear my prayer.
Up goes the bed.
Karis.
Come on, Karis. Come on.
See the cross of the Lord. Begone, you hostile.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, hear my prayer.
Let my cry come unto thee. The Lord be with you.
Also with you.
Yeah, you can have that. You have this gooey scarf now. There we go, the neck spinning again.
With the Father and the Holy Spirit.
How the hell is Reagan going to come through this? Karis is looking a little knocked up. Knocked up? That's not the phrase I wanted.
Is she gonna die?
No.
Well, something did not go according to plan, did it? Creepy. She's just kind of sitting there.
God damn you! Take me! Take me!
Oh, it's in him. It's in him. It actually worked. That worked somehow. Oh my god, that was incredible. What a fucking sacrifice play. Jesus. That was quite the fucking jump as well. Jesus. Karis, hero.
I found this in her room.
Isn't that the thing that you found in Iraq, but it was around Karis's neck? Did I miss something? Did he give it to him or something? That jump though, that fucking... Like, he had to like leap and fly in order to hit those stairs. Right, that was the reaction to The Exorcist. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button, lets other people know you liked it, and helps this video get seen by other people. Maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss any future stuff, which is always a good thing. Other than that, we're going to talk about this movie now and see what I thought of it. So first things first, I can definitely see how this movie got its reputation as like the scariest movie ever, especially when it originally came out. Like, because it's really playing up on horror and fears of like a psychological nature. Like, it's really playing up people's fears of the unknown, medicine in some regards, faith, like you have a little bit of like the police investigation in there as well. There's all these things that people have a fears of and just not knowing what's going on, and that really is that kind of psychological what are you afraid of, and tapping into that, and it does that through many different means. And I mean, there were a couple of like your traditional kind of jump scares or using lighting in effective ways to try and create an uneasy mood, but that wasn't what the bulk of this movie was at all. Like, it was hardly that at all. There was only a few select well-placed moments where that was the case. Really what it is that tapping into what makes you just feel uneasy, and then driving a screw into that, like really trying to make it seep out. And I can definitely see how the film got a reputation for just making audiences maybe face up to things in ways that they didn't necessarily want to, or they wanted to sort of look away from, or and all that stuff. And the way it does that is really good. Like, specifically, it's done in a way where all the characters feel very real and truthful and like people. Like I said, if it's in the reaction, like the fact that the priests are played and written like real people. They're people with problems and fears and anxieties, and you know, none of them are holier than thou, untouchable figures of light, and you know, a beacon of, they are a beacon of good, but they're not untouchable by the darkness. And I think that's really important, because normally in films where you have a character like that, they are either untouchable by evil, and you know, you just always feel safe with them in the room, or they go too far the other way, and there's stuff where you, like, they become villainous almost, or cartoonish. And here it really rides that perfect line of them just feeling like people who have their own sets of problems whilst facing this very particular situation that is going on in the film. And you know, it all gels together really well and helps create that sense of unnerving. And as I say, I can definitely see how that would have created this sort of reputation of this film being the scariest movie ever, especially when it came out. If there's one thing I have a legit, I think, criticism of the movie in terms of how it's made and how the narrative is sort of given to you as an audience, is a weird one, because it's both, I think, a good thing, but how it's done, I think, could have been slightly tidier. And I've mentioned this in the reaction if it's there, is just there is a lack of sense of how much time is passing in the first act of the film. Like in the second act and third act, it's a lot more clear cut, like how things are progressing. But in that first act, it's really hard to keep track of how much time is actually passing, because it's weeks. Like, people mention there are weeks, and then there are days, and there are weeks, and it's just, where are we? What's going on? That was just my, if they had a legitimate criticism for the film just coming out of it, that's really the only one I can point at right here, right now, just coming out of the movie, that I wish that first act was just a bit tighter, and it was a lot more sort of clear how much time was progressing and all that kind of stuff. But there were some moments where it was worked really well. Like, it was very clear that, okay, some time has passed here, and these things have gotten either worse or have progressed in such a way. But then there were other times where it felt like there was a scene, then it just transitioned to another scene, and then, oh, there was meant to have been like a week in between those two scenes apparently, and that was a little bit hard to just sort of keep up with. That's really my only criticism. But my next point is that I actually like the fact that the film takes place over a long period of time, and I like the fact that the possession itself seems to take a long time to come into effect, long enough for it to not be instantly recognizable as something supernatural. Like, there could just be a medical problem going on that they can't figure out. And I like that there's a build-up. It feels like there is a build-up, and that then the ending is then a good payoff to everything that has happened up to that point, and it feels earned, for lack of a better term. But I enjoy that whole thing takes time to manifest itself, and it feels kind of more creepy and scary because of it. Like, again, it's like that thing I was saying, is tapping into real fears, and normally the things that are most scary aren't things that happen instantly. Like, if there's something that happens instantly, it's like, oh, that was scary, okay, I'm fine, okay, I'm good, it's over, whatever. Fear is when something is drawn out, like when it's something you can't escape. It's something that just keeps coming at you and you can't find a way to get away from it. And that's what I liked about the fact that the possession and the surrounding things that were going on just slowly took their time to get worse and worse and worse. And that, to me, is more of a scary thing, because it feels like there's something you can't escape just encroaching in on you, and you can't get away from it. And that, I think that's something this film really excelled at doing, is just sort of building that up. To be a bit more specific about what I was talking about, the characters being very real and relatable, for me personally, the two that came across the strongest, sort of unsurprisingly, are the mothers, Reagan and Karis. Both of them, I feel like I went on a journey with both of those characters, who were having these individual problems, whilst those problems sort of brought them together and their worlds collided, and I think that was really nicely done. And like I say, like Karis having these really real anxieties and emotions about things that he wished he could make better, and his lack of, like, his losing of his faith, and like that all being connected, and then the payoff to that being kind of this moment where when she says to him, is she going to die, and he just like something clicks on him and he just says, no, I'm not going to let that happen. Whatever happens here today, that is not what I'm going to let happen. And it's a truly like heroic moment, and it's earned through the fact that this guy has had this whole thing nagging at him that I wish I could have done something for my mother. I wish I could have done something to make her life better, to make people around me lives better, and that they wouldn't have to have fear or worry. I wish there was something I could do. And suddenly in that moment, something just clicked in him and was like, I'm not going to stand here and let that keep on happening. Especially when he saw the priest, whose name's gone from me, the actual exorcist, when he'd seen that he'd been killed, and he was like, hey, this is down to me now. I've got to stop this. No one else here can. I can't perform the exorcism because it's just going to take too much out of me, but I can do this. I can, because apparently, like, it's set up that this demon has an interest in Karis and wants his body for some reason. So when he sort of offers it up, it's almost like he has to give himself to it. Unbeknownst to the demon, he's strong enough and within himself to like contain it. And maybe that's something to do with his faith. Maybe that's something to do with the fact that this has all suddenly clicked into place in his own mind, and he's in control of it, and he's able to control his fear and do his sacrifice play, and do what he feels that needs to be done in that moment to keep everyone safe and to save this child who has gone through this ordeal. And like, it's just a great payoff, and I think a wonderful sort of build up to earn that moment, and just good storytelling in general. And then the mother is played so real, where she starts in this place of like, she has this really nice relationship with her daughter, and you see that play out, and it's just a lovely like sort of family unit between the two of them, despite sort of their family dramas and problems that are going on with the father and all that stuff. They are a really tight unit, and when that starts cracking and falling apart, like, her performance is really, like I say, it's relatable and believable. Like, you're on that journey with her, and she does a great job at showing the walls breaking down, the desperation of wanting to figure out what she can do, and all that stuff. Just a really good performance. Again, like, much like Harris, is just a journey that the film takes you on. Another thing I liked is like linking in with the whole fact that the possession takes so long to manifest itself properly. It allows the film and the story to delve into, wow, how can we explain this? How would in our world try to explain a supernatural event? And obviously most people would turn to science immediately and medicine, and that's what we do. And it just ups, not only does it up the ante of the sort of creepy factor of what's going on, it's just, again, makes everything feel more grounded and real. And despite the over-the-top sort of supernatural thing that is actually going on, the fact that it's all grounded in this, we went through the tests, we went to the doctors, we did all this stuff, we did all the things that you're supposed to do when something goes wrong with your child or with yourself, or whatever, however you want to look at it, and nothing is wrong. Like, everything is physically okay, and yet this violent personality is just erupting from this child, and it feels like there's nothing we can do. And ultimately what it takes is the sort of just the battle of evil v good, and the triumph of good over evil, and all that stuff, and plays into the religious themes that are going on as well. So yeah, all really good stuff. In terms of like theorizing how all this goes about, like, how does this happen? Why does Reagan become possessed? Why is does the demon find itself in that house? How is it linked to the stuff in Iraq, like when the priest finds the coin and the statue? And like, to me, obviously I'm not 100% sure, just coming fresh out of the film, not seeing it twice or having a chance to go and see what other people have said about this film, all that stuff. To me, it feels like whatever they kind of dug up in that place unleashed something. It was said that that priest had done a previous exorcism. Don't know if it was meant to be linked to that or not, I'm not sure. But to me, that's how it came across. Like, that exposition, they unleashed something there, since he apparently had this other exorcism that maybe was linked to it in some way as well. Like, that's the best I can do theory-wise, where at least this evil might originate from. How it gets to Reagan, I have no idea, but I think the general idea is it's just the sort of the attack on innocence. That's really what it's about. And as the film sets up early on, is that Reagan is kind of the picture of innocence. Like, she is a good kid despite her own like family dramas that are going on. Having this evil entity attack her is just like it's the worst possible thing that could happen kind of situation. Like, how can we make this evil feel even worse than what it actually is? Well, we'll have it infect someone who is so pure and so innocent and corrupt them completely. It folds into that whole theme of good v evil and all that stuff. And I had sort of said in the reaction as well, like, there was that interesting kind of how much could have Reagan have held on to her own self had the science not got involved, had she not been sedated, and maybe that helped the entity like have a further grasp on her and all that stuff. But what I really liked was that there always seemed to be a struggle. I like that it felt like the demon didn't have full control of Reagan 100% of the time. Like, it felt like there was always a fight going on. There was always Reagan fighting out her innocence, and her pureness was always at odds with this thing that was inside her, and that's why it potentially couldn't expel its power in all the ways. And like, when Karis is like, just remove the ropes, just do it. If you're the devil, why can't you do it? And it's like, it's you time. Like, it was almost bullshitting its way through. I could do it if I wanted to. I'm just not going to do it now. I liked that. I like that there was an element of this evil has a weakness, and it's kind of in plain sight that it's just good. Like, good is its weakness. The fact that Reagan is so inherently a good person, seemingly so, makes it harder for this thing to really take control of her. But I find it interesting that this thing seems more interested in Karis than anyone else in the movie. Like, it doesn't really care about Reagan at all. It's just like it's doing what it's doing to Reagan to get to him, and like it's like it can feel his anxieties and his problems and stuff, and doing this to a innocent child in front of him is like disturbing him. And it's interesting. There's all sorts of weird theories you could come up with, and I'm sure upon rewatching and maybe looking at the director's cut as well, I would probably come up with more stuff. But just coming out of it, I just enjoyed all of that stuff and all the potential there is there in the movie to draw some conclusions for yourselves. Just theorize around it and whatever conclusions you might come to. I like that in films. I like that in all types of films when you can do that, and I feel like this film does it in such a way where it's doing it with the intent of making what's going on more scary, where there's a lack of the known and you're just having to piece it together in your own head to make it make sense and to fill in those blanks and stuff. And I mean, I like it. I like where it feels solid enough where you can follow what it is, what's going on, but there are blanks there that make it scarier and also allows you to come up with how this can be resolved. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I hope it does. And then just in terms of the filming of it, like the actual technical stuff, camera work and all that stuff, I said it in the reaction, and I think it plays into the rest of it. It's filmed in a very natural real way. I think I heard at some point, I'm not sure, because again, this is one of the films I've tried to keep away from in terms of spoilers, even though there's obviously pop culture stuff that has leaked into my subconscious because of how like famous the movie is. But I think I remember hearing at some stage that I think this was kind of like the first film this director did, but previously they had done sort of documentaries and stuff, and you can definitely feel that, especially in that, like in the Iraq stuff at the start. Like that felt like someone just went to that place to shoot a documentary. Like that's what that whole segment felt like, and I think that again it sort of follows through the rest of the movie, even though there are certain parts of the movie that definitely like feel like a movie, like all the sort of stuff with the medical equipment and all that stuff. It again, I think all those filmmaking techniques that they were using certainly helped ground everything and just made it all feel very, this is real, this is what's going on, like this is how we deal with this, that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that. I like that it didn't, as much as I enjoy a good like traditional spooky movie with like cobwebs and lightning and all the over the top shit, I liked, and it worked for this film, is just playing it dead straight. But yeah, and that came across in the filmmaking and how they decided to shoot the whole thing, and when they needed things to feel weird and off kilter, that's when they started bringing in sort of some maybe different lighting choices and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and maybe some sort of shots that felt a little bit weirder, like some POVs and that kind of thing, and it all worked. Like I feel like it was very well sort of timed when they decided to shoot it in a way that wasn't quite so naturalistic. Like it was very purposely done and placed in certain aspects of the film, and works because of it. The whole thing just comes together nicely because of those choices. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think it's really good. The only problem I had was that kind of first act time jumping where I couldn't keep track of exactly what was going on. Probably I would do a better job of that on a second watch, but coming out of it straight away, that's really my biggest criticism, is just that part of it. Other than that, I think it's just a very strong movie and a very good horror, psychological horror, supernatural movie. On top of that, like it's weird. I do feel like this is more of a psychological horror than a supernatural horror because of how straight and real it plays it. But then that like final 30 minutes is straight up like supernatural crazy shit. but I liked it. I feel like this was a good watch and well overdue, and thankfully we have now done it. So that is good. But yeah, ranking this, I would give this a 9.4. I think it's really, really good. Like I just want that first act to be slightly tighter and tidier. I'm not sure. Maybe that's in the director's cut. I have no idea. Who knows? But in terms of what I just watched, I just want that first act. I just want that first act to be a bit tighter and all that good stuff. But other than that, like it's really, really good. It is a really, really strong movie, and 9.4 I think is a very, very worthy score. I don't think I ever. It's weird. Like I feel like again why I haven't gone slightly higher is that nothing in the movie outright like scared me, but it did sort of make me think about sort of my own anxieties and stuff like that, and those sort of slow encroaching fears. So nothing outright was like, I'm super scared, like that kind of stuff, but I very much appreciated what it was doing. So that's why I kind of think of it more as a psychological horror than a horror where it was making me like it's weird. Like I feel like this movie will last with me longer, but it didn't like scare me in the moment as much, which is not a criticism by any stretch of the imagination. That's just an observation more than anything. But yeah, 9.4. I'm happy with that. Maybe the director's cut would be more for me. I don't know. I'm sure people in the comments will let me know. Please do if you think it would. I have no idea what the differences between the two are. In terms of what we might do in the future, I've never heard a good thing said about the second Exorcist movie. So I feel like I will probably skip it. I have got Exorcist 3. Something that's only really come on my radar recently. Really, I'd sort of never even considered it because everyone said the second one was so bad. I thought, well, the third one can't be that good either. If that's the case, but that's just my ignorance. Apparently, the third one, if you enjoy the first one, there is something to be had from it if you enjoy the first movie. So I will take a look at the third movie at some point in the future. That I can't promise when that's going to be, but just in terms of you're interested in more Exorcist like reaction content reviews, I will be taking a look at the third movie at some stage. I just don't know when. But yeah, other than that, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider hitting the thumbs up button if you did like it so other people will see the video and all that good stuff. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this movie, if you liked it or not. Let me know if I'm an idiot and if there's something I didn't spot whilst watching it. All that stuff. And maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss any of future content on the channel. There's plenty of other content for you to go check out as well. So please make sure you go do that as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you had a good time. And I will catch you on the next one.